So we lost again. Brighton at home. I guess looking at the fixture, we would have thought beatable team, 3 points, but we lost. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Swansea Beat. Welcome back, everybody, to Swansea Beat. I'm Dustin Rubio.
I'm Alex Thomas.
Follow us on Twitter at Swansea Beat. Subscribe to this channel, like it, and share it on social media. And you can leave a comment if you agree, disagree, or you want to just make some suggestions or whatever.
And like our new Facebook page at Swansea Beat as well.
Yes, that's it right there. So Alex, how do we react, right?
Obviously, we want to be positive, but in this sense, how can you be? Another bitterly disappointing loss against Brighton and Hove Albion, who ain't the greatest of sides, a newly promoted team, and they weren't even that good. Weren't even that good. We just somehow performed worse. I think easily one of the worst confidence displayed. I think when I was watching the players, I watched the whole match and I was like, none of our players seem to care at the moment, except Tammy Abraham. I tweeted out a couple of days ago, the only person that showed passion on our pitch was a 20-year-old who was on loan to us, and no one else cared. Yeah. I just thought that was completely pathetic. And I was just like,
well, he's got something to play for, you know. He's got his mind on England, you know, playing for them. So although the team might be bad, I mean, I think his work ethic and some of his goals, you know, is getting them to notice him. But
yeah,
I think we were highlighted on Match of the Day to not even get a ball, like our crossing, our set pieces, and I mean it's bad. It's bad. I think we were positive after the Newcastle game. I think we tried to be positive. Yeah. There was stuff to look for, but there were warning signs. Remember, I even said, with the exception of the Tottenham match, we both said, these games, you know, the next ones we have the Watford, the Brighton, and who else did we play in that mix that were the winnable games? West Ham. I mean, there was so many games, and again, not necessarily Arsenal, but usually we're quite confident because they're kind of always up and down. I mean, obviously a good squad, but I guess my biggest concerns of happening is we have this row of games where we need to pick a point. So looking at the fixture list in the beginning of the season, we look at this block and we say, this is where we're going to pick up our points, you know? Yeah. Not going to Old Trafford or Man U coming here or Man City or any of those things. Yeah. We are looking at the Brightons, the Huddersfield, that's who it was, Newcastle, West Ham, and those, and we literally have just dropped it all.
You know, I never thought I'd be saying this, but I'm relieved it's international break now.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I'm relieved.
Yep.
I don't know if this is a chance for the squad just to gather together and get some thoughts together and just say...
Or change in management.
Honestly, at this point, I'm all for it. You know, I think after so many weeks of us saying, Clement's a good coach, he'd be able to get all these players get going, and then no one's got going. He has the same record as Bob Bradley this season. 11 games, 8 points.
Wow.
That says a lot. And for me, Clement has had, you know, yes, Bob Bradley had Sigurdsson and Llorente, but Clement had some transfers at his own disposal. Maybe Klukas wasn't his choice, maybe Bonnie wasn't his choice, but we spent more money with Clement than we did with Bob Bradley. Obviously, Bob Bradley came in mid-season, Guidelin had the transfers. Yeah. But at the end of the day, Clement had some choices. He brought Sanchez.
It was our busiest transfer market. Yeah, window. That was the busiest we've done, and we look at it now. I remember. Yeah, look, go back to the episodes. I mean, we should probably put a little clip out of that of how excited we were. Me joking around saying we won. You know, the transfer window and all this stuff, and look at us now. Fast forward some weeks, a couple months, and now it's just kind of like, I don't know if it could get any worse than this.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We have dropped all of the points we should be winning.
The thing I don't like to be negative about, but it's beginning to get to that point, we're like an Aston Villa or a Sunderland. It is almost...
From previous years.
Yeah, it's almost inevitable now that we're going to get relegated. You know, some with Sunderland, even a change of management didn't even help them. And I even question that, will even a change of management even help us at the moment?
You're right. I think just because some of the players we got, but at the same time, like, could change in management. I guess that's what you're always hoping for. It's the roll of the dice of if we get a new guy in, like looking at Everton, good move. It sucks for Coleman, he did okay as far as with some of the players he got. And I mean, obviously there are questions of, did you need to bring in Sigurdsson? You didn't really replace Lukaku's goals up front. But there's some players there. So the next manager who comes in, there are players there. Where for us, it's a thing of, look, there are some players there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what if a different manager comes in and he gets Sanchez in the right position? Or what if a different manager comes in, because I don't know what's happening with Mesa.
No.
You see his Twitter, it comes off as if like he's saying, I'm fit, I'm ready to go, I'm hungry, let's go for it. And yet he's not playing. And so
not
whether
even on the bench,
and whether we need a different manager who comes in and who just shakes things up. And we've been seeing over the last few years, I mean, we go back to Chelsea with Mourinho winning the league, and then the next season pretty much the same players aren't playing for him. And then we see Leicester win the league, and then the next season those pretty much same players aren't playing for him, and then he's sacked. You've seen it. You see Ancelotti with Real Madrid. I mean, the list goes on and on of that happening. It's a trend that's kind of going on, and whether it's a thing of, look, they don't want to play for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and whether we need to get something else, and whether it's a lack of inspiration, whether it's a lack of imagination of, like, look, we keep doing the same stuff, hoping to get the different results, and it's like it's not going to happen. I don't know. I'm all for it. I don't like to see anybody just in general lose their job. But listen, I think if it's for us, the game is survival. We need to survive, and there have been people talking about let's get relegated so we can rebuild. That we're not even a championship side. We're just not a championship side. And this is just my opinion. Let me just rant real fast. I think if we go down, even the okay players we have, for sure, Tammy's gone because he's on loan. Sanchez is gone. And I think we'll probably be still with Boney, but he probably would never play anyways. And I think we'll lose what players we do have that will have a bit of quality. I think, and it will be hard for us to get, to attract players. Because it's already hard for us. I think that's why Sanchez was a huge thing of, like, we attracted a player like that to come to this city. It's a great city. I love the city. But, when they would probably rather go to a Crystal Palace, or places like that are more London, bigger cities. I just don't see it happening where we go down to the championship and survive. I don't think we'll have the players for it. And I don't know, even today, we're kind of jumping all over the place, but even today, them coming out, with the Swans talking about releasing now the Liberty, right? It's a lease.
Yeah, lease.
10, 15 years, something like that, 10 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. And the word I kept hearing in the interview was revenue. We'll be able to get revenue, and then obviously they're going to say, the PR thing, for them to say is, the important thing is the football, what happens on the pitch. And it's like, you have no idea, look, I'm American, I love America, but I will be honest in saying that, these guys that are coming here, first of all, are businessmen. They're not coming here for the passion of football. They're looking for an investment. And some of these guys probably have never played this sport, probably never even sat down and watched it, and if they've been at the Liberty sitting down and watching it, it's probably because it looks good for them to be there, But I think has that been a distraction for the club? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. There's just so many questions, and it's looking grim.
So moving on from Brighton, obviously, we don't want to talk much about that game.
No, we've pretty much haven't been talking about that game.
But the one question that I think is the main thing for this video, Clement Out. Is that a yes or no answer from you? Clement Out?
Yeah. It's an easy one for me. I think we needed to do that. The decision needed to be made on Sunday night. On Sunday. When did we play? Saturday? It needed to be made on Saturday night. Like, they should have already thought, whether they told him or not, they already should have been looking for someone else, because we got 2 weeks, right? International break? 2 weeks. And look, the more time, or the quicker the person comes in, or we start looking, You know, hopefully we have a bit of time to look for somebody that's out there, but it's who's out there.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think? In or out?
Out. Honestly, like, there's only so many games you can give them. You know, thanks for last season, thanks for keeping us up, thanks for, you know, making a miracle happen, basically.
Yeah.
You know,
it was bad.
You know, we thought we were going down, but somehow we stuck it out, and fair play. Clement did well. He used the players we had and got them, but you know, there's a certain amount of time you have. You know, when you get 11 games and you don't even have double-digit points, you're in the relegation zone, and your players look like they've given up on you.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem anything's bright for you anymore. And I think it's a shame because, you know, we know he's a good coach. He has all the links in the world. Like, he has the potential to be a great coach. But if your players don't believe in you as a manager, there's no point you being there.
And it's evident as well. You're seeing them, you know, like,
you
no
know,
passion.
it feels like the Bob Bradley situation. Like, even the players then, they knew how bad of a coach Bradley was. Like, they were like, okay, this guy's pathetic.
Yeah.
And they would put no effort in just to get Bradley out of the game. And I feel like they're doing that with Clement at the moment. You know, I don't know what they're expecting if a new manager comes in. Like, you know, all investments will come in and all that, but that's down to the Americans, not the manager itself. But yeah, I think it's just time for Clement to move on. I think it's our time to move on and just look at what's out there. And to be honest, there's not many managers out there at the moment.
Well, let's get to that. But let me ask you another question. So we agree on Clement Out, the management changing. Now, one of the things that was being shouted at the Liberty was we want our club back.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily a Clement sort of
club.
thing.
Yeah.
That is the club. That's the board. That's the investors, the Americans, or the Yanks, as you see on Twitter. And it's Huw Jenkins. That's the big thing. People are saying people are not happy with Huw.
It's become a very volatile situation in the club at the moment. Like, I've seen flyers going on the Liberty.
Apparently there was a protest before. I mean, like 10 or 15 people, I guess.
And there's another protest being planned. Like,
really?
I've seen messages all over Twitter.
We should do an episode there.
Just like in the middle of it, like a newscast. But yeah, I've seen people protesting. I've seen people planning a protest. And it's got to the situation now, it's just like, this feels like 15 years ago when our club first was like in the broken mess that we were, like, you know, on our way to the not even being a proper club anymore, like, you know, not being a professional football club.
Yeah.
Now it's just like we're in the Premier League and we're still haven't got our club back. I feel like with Huw Jenkins, like, we've got a club back, we've got the supporters trust in charge, and then we sold out to the Americans, let them have the major share. And now all of a sudden it's gone back to that situation, except we're a top flight team now who've lost our identity as a club. And it's just the point, where do we go from here now? I think, you know, I don't see the Americans backing out. It would be stupid of them to do it business-wise.
It's business, yeah, for them. Like, it's one of those things of like, look, if you're not into football and, you know, you're into business or whatever, you know, most people, you know, love money. So you're looking at from their position, you're thinking, you're not mad at them. Like, look, they're just into business. They're doing the business thing. But for us, it's a thing of, like for me, I feel like you look back on the history of the Swans and their rise. I mean, I guess it would be like the movie, the documentary, Jack to a King, and you see where they came from. And it was like the board, or you see like Huw and the boys making these really great decisions along the way. And I feel like the big one was, well, the inevitable decision that was going to come up always was investors. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like choosing what investors was a big mistake on who it was. And it's not so much of Americans, you know, because there are other American owners in the league, you know, that aren't, you know, Liverpool and Man United and stuff like that. But I think for us, it was just, it wasn't a good deal. Whether the guys were out of their depth or whatever, I don't know. But
the thing is, when people say Huw Jenkins out, say if Huw Jenkins did step down, what happens then? Like, what do you expect to happen? Like, do you expect the players to all of a sudden become magically good again? Like, you know, a new manager, maybe morale will be higher, but when the chairman steps down, what are you expecting? Like, you know, investors go, oh, he's gone now, let's just invest billions of pounds into the club.
Yeah,
like,
I think it's more on, like, for me at least, I mean, I can't speak for anyone else, but I think I'm looking at some of the changes are, the management is to change already our form now, to kind of help us survive.
Yeah.
And I think, but the problem is, like something I said to you earlier today, and it was something I said last season.
Yeah.
I said, I wouldn't even take 180 mil for Sigurdsson because we wouldn't know how to spend that money.
Yeah.
I said that, right? And because of decisions we've made, we've sold people. We've got, you know, we like Brendan Rodgers. We let different people go.
Yeah.
You know, we get a little bit of money, and I know we could say, oh, we got Michu, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, that's great, but we've made that, and that was a good one. But we've made a lot of bad decisions in who we got, and made some, you know, some bad decisions in the transfer window, and I wasn't confident in that, and I think that comes down to my lack of confidence and trust in the board of what to do with the money. And so I say that to say, yeah, we can stay up, but we're going to have another transfer window here in January. We'll have another one in the summer if we stay up. I'm not confident in who we'll get, because I think when you look at Klukas, Boney, like we both said, that was on Clement kind of window, you know, you know, the transfers. It seems like very much a Huw thing.
Yeah.
And then also people's frustration of, like, apparently the rumor is that Joe Allen was close coming back, and that Brendan Rodgers just had to wait a certain amount of time or something like that. I'd be completely wrong, but from what I understand, it was that. But then they didn't want to wait for Brendan Rodgers, or I think it was when we got Bradley, and then there was Joe Allen. We just didn't want to spend the extra. I think it was like $5 million or something like that, and then we overspend for what we could have got for Joe Allen for Klukas, you know.
It says a lot, doesn't it? It's
But I think that's the reason why.
Yeah.
I guess to answer your question, that would be the reason why. Not so much to get the players to change, but it's more of the direction of where we're going.
Yeah.
Because I'm not confident, you know.
The thing is, you can protest all you want. It's, you know, at the end of the day, the reason Huw is still here is not because he loves the club. I don't feel he does anymore. I feel like money's spoken to him too much.
Well, he's won. You know, he got money. He's won.
You know, I feel like, why would he sacrifice getting millions and millions of pounds each year just because fans are going to protest outside his stadium? Like, I don't feel like, oh, someone's protesting in town. Why would he care? Like, at the end of the day, you know, unless it gets as volatile as it was when it was 15 years ago, where there was death threats sent to the chairman, you know, that made him leave. Like, I hope it doesn't get to that situation for Huw.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's just like, you need a wake-up call at the moment.
Yeah, but those protests might be the thing. It might even be, you know, 10, 15 people, might grow a little bit as we start to drop points, 80 people, 100 people, 200 people. And I think it's not as if those are not going to go unnoticed. And I think it might cause him to be like, you know, right, you know, could they have a point? You know, I don't want, you know, to force, you know, because in football, I mean, you hear stories of Chelsea players going to see the owner, and then all of a sudden the manager's gone. You know, you hear stories like that, and you know, every manager knows, you know, they could be the flavor of the month, a superstar 1 year, and then the next year they're gone, they're out of a job. And I think, you know, even with a chairman, I think whether they think that, but I guess to wrap my thoughts up with that is, I think we definitely need change. I think the board, I think the chairman, I think whether the football director, there needs to be some sort of change. I think in our transfer window, I think investing in our investors. I think I don't know how. I don't remember really what the deal is.
Okay, so last question. We're going to be hypothetically speaking. If Clement was to be sacked, who would you want in?
Oh.
And but let me just add something. Try and be realistic about who we get in.
Oh yeah.
Because I can easily just say, oh, Carlo Ancelotti. Like, that's not going to happen.
Ridiculous. I would walk off right now. I would have said Big Sam, but it looked like he's going to Everton.
Yeah.
And then I would have said
Village.
Yeah, I would have said him. I would have said the Everton manager, or not anymore. Koeman, yeah. I would have said those two, but my only issue with them now is that it hasn't been long since they've been sacked,
Yeah.
and so their morale is probably down. Their decision making, their judgment is, will be clouded. I just wouldn't trust. We're already, we're worse off than their teams. They're just leaving. I wouldn't want to get them to get in here. I think I would rather somebody who's been away from football a little bit, and somebody you mentioned earlier that I'm stealing as my pick now is Alan Pardew.
Alan Pardew.
Yeah.
Yeah, an impact manager who does the job. I think.
And that's the reason why I went for some of those guys. Especially Big Sam. I think Big Sam he'll never be out of work. He might get sacked, but he'll never be out of work because I think he's got a track record. Him and Hodgson, you see Roy, and I think Pardew's another one.
Yeah.
Tony Pulis. The list goes on. There are those managers who grit clubs like that, and they'll help them organize, survive, and I think Pardew would be a good one because he's been away from football a little bit.
Yeah. For me, I almost agree with you, but obviously there's being realistic as well. I think what we tend to do is look foreign. Like that's where we usually look to. That's where Guidlin came from. That's where Laudrup came from. That's where, honestly, I see. In my head, it's people say it's unrealistic, but I would say it is quite realistic because he's been out of the job for a while now and he's doing okay. But it's Thomas Tuchel. He used to be the Borussia Dortmund coach last year.
Yeah,
I think.
Wow.
People,
you said realistic?
The thing is, I can just not being like I'm trying not to be unrealistic when I say it. With the Germans, the wages are cheap. I think he's got the motivation. He's one of those people like Dortmund. Like yes, they're a big club now, but where they used to be, a few years ago where they were nowhere near winning the league, and then all of a sudden now they're always top 2 with Bayern Munich. I think he could motivate the players, but if I was to say someone in that area, I'd say Pardew or I don't know, some random championship guy. Honestly, I can just see it happening.
I wouldn't go for championship just because I wouldn't want to get somebody who's kind of never been in that deep of water, And already for their first time getting the Premier League to be that far behind in points would be difficult, especially with a team that's morale is low. But that's not a bad. I guess after I said and you said realistic, with a guy like that, a former guy, is because I think they would just look at the Premier League like this is my opportunity. If I at least get in the door.
Exactly. We said in the last episode, Swansea is a stepping stone club, and I'm just like, that is any manager's opportunity to prove themselves. I feel like Clement, this obviously it's not working out at the moment, but it was a stepping stone for him. This is his way to introduce into management. And Tuchel, he's done well at Borussia. Well, he did okay. Obviously, he got sacked or he left Borussia Dortmund, but I feel like introducing him to the Premier League, if he keeps us up, I wouldn't even mind him going off to another Premier League club in that because, we can't hang on to big managers like that.
Yeah.
But, at the moment, we don't need a long-term solution. We need short-term.
Yeah.
And I feel like these type of managers who are known for just making an impact straight away is what we need. So Pardew, Sam, Bilic, I'm not really fussed on because, the situation with him in West Ham at the moment was very bad.
Yeah, you know what I'd potentially do, saying this now, is if let's just say we got whatever manager in, I'd only want to take them, I guess what who did it with Moyes?
Oh, West Ham.
West Ham, yeah. So West Ham. So you said they did a 6-month contract. Like that's what I would do. I'd only want to get somebody to the end of the season, and then and see how they go. If we're playing good, we're getting good performances, we're doing stuff, then we keep it there. But I think I'd look at Bilic in the summer or towards the end of the season because I think he'd been out a little bit. It gives him a chance to. I don't know. I guess just trying to put myself in their shoes. They've invested a lot of time, a lot of hours, stress, sleepless nights into that club. So it's not as if like a week later, they're going to be fine and be in a new place and they won't have thoughts about. Last week I was in London and I was a manager for West Ham. I think I would take him maybe in the summer or something because I don't know.
But honestly, what I do see happening, I think we've discussed before, is Alan Curtis stepping in for the rest of the season. Yeah. And to be honest, I question what the morale is in the club at the moment. For Swans fans who don't know, Makaleli, our coach, coach has recently just left
Yeah.
to manage a Belgian club.
Yeah.
I'd imagine that puts it down on the team as well. Because I
Yeah.
feel like he's a very positive coach. He was a great player back in the day. And
Yeah.
it's just like, you're losing probably a key man in your backroom staff.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I'm just like, what is our hope? Like, do we get like a Britain-style guy who will just shout at the players and motivate them and just say what the club is about and all that stuff? And I was like, Curtis is that guy. That's just being realistic. Like, if we weren't going to bring in a manager, it would either be, people are saying this as well, we discussed this earlier as well, Britain player manager,
Yeah.
or Curtis coming in and trying.
I think Curtis will probably be
Yeah.
the thing. I think even if they get rid of Clement during this whole 2-week international break, I think Curtis will be the one.
Yeah.
If he's not gone yet,
Yeah.
it's because they're probably talking to Curtis of like, look, we'll be looking. Can you just come to our rescue as always? You know, and I'm happy with that for him just to kind of step in for a period.
Yeah.
You know, I'd hate. My only concern with him becoming like our Monk was our manager is once your time comes to an end, your time at the club is over with. I mean, there's no way back.
Yeah.
You know, going into something else. So.
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's rest this international break now.
Yeah.
Swansea City Football Club. Let's hope Wales have some good friendlies.
Yeah.
And
no bail.
No bail.
Yeah. We'll try to come out with a couple episodes.
Yeah.
We'll try to do a couple episodes in this sort of
and also
2-week break.
Good luck to Tammy Abraham on his England game.